Orb of Creation has been a game I've been really looking forward to, and what we have here is the most ambitious, technical, and challenging incremental game one could imagine. It's not so much an idle game as I guess you can call it an active video game. This is going to be one of the trickier reviews we've done here because a lot of them I'm going to show you is just going to be this screen. And that's about it. Orb of Creation's story is that it's the end of everything. You are trapped in a void, there's an orb, and you're going to start collecting lots and lots of resources. The game moves through different systems of progression. As you progress, you will unlock different tabs that you see at the top of the screen, from wizardry to using your scholarly skills to argomancy and much more. Each subsystem comes with its own attributes, resource focus, and things that it will affect. And your job is to progress through the game to the point where you even unlock combat that I'll show off in a few minutes. Now, with that said, a key aspect of this game is how there is no one perfect way to play it. One of the things that we see from a lot of idle incremental games, of course, is that you'll generally rush certain researches, you'll do certain things every single time. And it's something that we see a lot in the short form versions of incrementals, a lot that we've covered here. Orb of Creation focuses on long-term play. There is no offline kind of rewards or systems from what I could see. I think things that you craft do get kind of constructed when you're offline, but major progress will not happen. A big aspect of this is how you focus on your various researches. In the Scholar tab, you'll unlock different researches and technologies based on which things you focus on, which unlocks you go for. These will typically push your play towards different systems. Do you want to focus heavily on casting, getting lots of bonuses, using lots and lots of spells, and just kind of making number go up through input? Do you want to focus on crafting, letting all your stuff get crafted for you, which you can then spend on better resources and on unlocks? Do you go for alchemy, go for argomancy, you go for combat, rituals, and much more? And you unlock the experience needed to progress by using the different systems. So it's very much in that case of the more you do, the more you're rewarded, which lets you do more, which gets you more rewards, and you rinse and repeat. One of the worst things you can do in this game, especially when you're first starting out, is to try and go for the jack-of-all-trades approach. I'm going to upgrade every single technology one at a time, and every single research, and just do that. The reason why that's bad, one, it will balloon your tech tree out dramatically, which makes it very hard to spot what you're trying to unlock or what you need next. And a lot of this game is how things, or the exponential side. A very important part of how you can speed through progress is being able to improve the quality of certain resources or certain attributes. This lowers the value that you need. If you just focus on everything at once, you're not going to be able to really push towards a specific direction. That will speed things up. And I feel like my first playthrough, and this is the footage that you're seeing in this video, was hurt by it. That I think it took me maybe 2 to 3 times longer than a lot of my friends did to get through run 1, because I was just trying to focus on every single thing. And when you start going up in quality and start doing some of the better strategies, you'll quickly speed through a lot of those points. And while you do at some level have to touch every system that's in a run in Orb of Creation, what you focus on is entirely up to you. And I had friends who went completely different strategies than I did. They got stuck in different parts than I did, and I got stuck in different parts than they did. And the game features, and like part of the reason why this game took so long to be developed was the developer spent a lot of time trying to get the end game down. So what happens is when you beat the game, you will unlock a new kind of overall meta currency in terms of time runes. And the game implements challenges, where each run you'll be given a set of challenges that will make things harder. Some of the ones will basically affect one or more of the systems. So in the current run that I'm doing while I'm recording this review, all my Druid and Alchemy tabs or features there have been hurt, they've been nerfed, which means I need to focus on something else. And where in other incremental and idle games, that would mean that you're going to have a horrible time at some point while you play, with Orb of Creation, it simply means you get to focus on another system and do more things there. And I can only imagine how many different ways and viable strategies there are. Now with that said, one valid complaint about Orb of Creation is that it can be very hard to understand what is actually being impacted. You'll get tooltips like, this raises your quality, this grants you agility, this grants you swift. And unless you click on the various tooltips and actually kind of dig into the menus, it can be hard to know sometimes what you should be going for, what is being affected, and kind of like where your kind of throughput is being affected at any moment. Because you can easily max out a lot of your resources early on, but you'll quickly find that the cost to keep upgrading is going to go beyond what your actual storage requirements or your storage limits are. So you'll need to find ways around that, either using items to boost things, being able to increase your quality so you can upgrade the storage, or do some other system. Speaking of, the other point that people have talked about that can be very frustrating is when you get to the end of a run, and this is when the combat system comes into play. Combat involves you going to rituals, where you'll use combat-focused spells to fight different enemies. Each combat spell will have a different cost, so you need to have your whole kind of in-game economy going before you really do it. The part that frustrates a lot of people is that rituals use an endgame resource called Zeal that does not respawn or generate when you're offline, and is very slow to do. And it can slow down the endgame quite a bit, because until you kind of get the basic researches and do enough rituals to start pushing that up, you're just going to be spending a lot of time sitting around. And that's the very fun and interesting part about Orb of Creation. This is the only idle/incremental game that I've played where sitting around doing nothing is incorrect. There is always something that you can be doing. If one system's a bit slow, go to another. If you feel that things aren't progressing fast enough, see if there's a unlock or an attribute that you didn't bother upgrading. And there are times where there's so much going on that your hands can't keep up with all the things you can unlock. Since I started playing this at 1.0, there has been, I believe, 2 bounce patches pushed out that have affected things. They've added in an auto research for kind of minimal researches, which helps out dramatically. And there is just so much to this one. I've been talking now for almost like 8 minutes, and this is for an incremental game. But I don't think we've ever talked this much about a game that's just about you watching numbers go up in a variety of ways. My 2 biggest tips. First, as I said, you want to be spending your resources all the time. Get everything, even if it means emptying out your current stash of whatever resource. Because the more you upgrade, the more experience you get. This will unlock more researches, more upgrades, and will just make things go faster. The second thing is, every single research and bonus that you see kind of taunting you from the upper right, go for them, because these are your progression points. If something's going to unlock a new spell, a new rune, a new feature, that is going to push things further. And almost every resource in this game, other than like the final ones, you will get to the point where you will be able to automate or auto build them. And then kind of the real number go up begin. So this is a very awkward game to recommend. If you are a complete novice to incremental games, idle games, that whole thing, this is on the advanced side. I cannot stress that enough. There is so much to this game that I'm sure people will be exploring this for a long time. If you are someone who has incrementaled so many times, you've watched number go up tremendously, and you're looking for the most like realized and most advanced version of this genre, Orb of Creation is a must-play for you. I don't think we're going to see any more orb pondering from this developer, at least for some time. I think they're going to go on a very well-deserved break. But yes, this is a game that you will be pondering that orb for many nights to come. Orb of Creation was played with a retail key. They took a your game, designed to involve pondering orbs or lots and lots of numbers. Be sure to get in touch. If you are a fellow orb ponderer here, let me know what you thought of the game as well. And with that, thanks for watching, and we'll be back with more design talks and indie games coming soon. Thanks for watching, and a special thank you to our Patreon supporters. If you enjoyed the video, do the YouTubing stuff, be sure to visit our Discord and Patreon, and you're interested in more in my thoughts on design, check out my game design books.